Also, we have the amazing Jason Thibodeau in the building out here in the
What's going on, peoples?
He is going to be a part of the panel tonight. Snap clap for your boy JT in the building tonight.
Let the Lord use us.
We also have the amazing and gorgeous Christina Jackson in the building tonight. Your glam bling boss lady in the building. Y'all give her some love. Show your love for Christina Jackson. We have the troublemaker in the building himself, Mr. Charles Dixon from Unique Perspectives Love Talk. Show your love for Charles Dixon is in the building. We also have another troublemaker in the building. He is new to the panel, been on with us a few times, but he causes problems too. He has on a Dallas foolishness hat in the building tonight, Mr. Michael Claiborne. Y'all give it up for Magic Mike in the building tonight.
And the cowboy ring. Don't forget the ring too.
The devil is busy. Okay, and then we have my girl from another Mr. Mrs. and Miss. Tim Mitchell Pratchett is in the building. Y'all show your love for my girl, Tim Mitchell.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hey. All right, y'all. So here we go. We're going to pop off. Let me tell y'all, I always have a backdrop story to every show that we have. And this one is interesting because in most instances, I shared with someone that it is normally women that message me and ask questions and send me DMs. But this time it was a guy. It was a guy. So it kind of took me by surprise. And I think I told Charles about it last week. I was like, this dude messaged me and said the size matter. And we out here just sleeping with too many people. I was like, oh, that's a good topic. My God. So as we were having the dialogue back and forth, he said, I don't understand why women are so attached to a man's size as opposed to who he is as a person. Can we help how God has created us? Is it always about size, or have people just gotten to a place where we just don't have exclusivity or single partners anymore? So I was like, that's a good question. It was interesting, like I said, coming from a guy's mindset and perspective. So I thought, oh, we need to tackle this topic on the Book of Faces and talk about this thing. So, you know, that's a lot to unpack with what he asked. The first thing that came to my mind was the unfortunate component when he said about the partnerships. Have we had so many experiences that we're not able to enjoy someone now, regardless of their depth and girth and all that kind of stuff? And on the other end of the coin, there was a female that messaged me and she said the same problem, hold on y'all, the same problem can be true with women. Some women's bodies have been used so frequently that they are not enjoyable either. So she came back with that statement. And so I was like, true. But then there was another perspective that I had in my head was, let's talk about nature. Let's talk about the natural components to this, about the body temple. Everybody is just not fit for each other, like in a literal sense. Everybody is not fit for each other. So it may be that a person has had multiple partners and they out here just, you know, doing whatever. It just may honestly, be that they're just not sexually compatible and a healthy fit for each other to enjoy. It's not a bad thing. It's not a horrible thing. It's just called LIFE. Every woman's body is not designed the same. Every woman can enjoy a guy. She might, this dude is just too big. I mean, he can't do nothing about that. That's just the way that he was designed. It doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make him have done something or whatever. That's something that's out of his control. So I wanted to talk about this. Have we gotten to a societal place where no moral compass is in place to where we even stop to consider, are we hurting ourselves by being with multiple people? Or is it that it could be the opposite end of the coin? So I wanted to bring that to the forefront and kind of have a dialogue about it, a very healthy conversation about it. Everything that we talk about is mature. It's mature adult conversation. So let's get it popping. Let's start with you, Claiborne. Does size really matter? Or have we actually had so many exposures that we're not able to really enjoy having healthy relationships with someone?
Hey, well, I'm glad to be here with you guys once again. And I'm excited about anytime the platform open up, and this is an adult, grown folks conversation. I don't. Let's not say. I won't say all the time. It's the amount of people.
Somebody
But
got like a lot of feedback in there.
sometimes I don't.
Is that you, Playboy?
Somebody got
Shit,
Somebody got a
background.
whole
Could be.
conversation
Background
going.
going on.
Could
Somebody got a
be.
whole okay.
Are you?
Maybe
Are you
everybody
still
should
hearing
just
me?
mute it when they're not talking. Just mute. I'll mute. Everybody should just mute.
If everybody mute, can you? Are you still hearing me? Or what happened?
No, it was actually coming from you, Playboy. I don't know what it was, but it was like when you were talking, it was a whole nother
Let me see if all my stuff is off.
conversation was going on in the background. But you good now. I can hear you good now. Go ahead.
Are you good with that?
I can hear you good now.
Okay. I don't know if it's necessary as is the amount of people, but the difference in size of people. And the reason why I say that is because if this one is last month or last person, let me not say last month, was one way and then someone else is another way. So then you're going through all those changes. I think we put so much emphasis in that we miss the opportunity of what a great man is. Because here's the thing about it is, so you got size, but he don't got no love for you. So you got size and he don't know how to treat you. So you got size, you know, and I've been to countries and I've traveled around the world and I've had women say that, you know, it was just too much of a size and it was hurting places inside of me that ain't supposed to be hurting and things like
My
that.
God,
Okay,
the places I didn't even know I had. My
yeah,
God.
right. So you got size, okay, and that size it everywhere. That size it everywhere. We just want to make it across the board because you got some people out here say I need the size of his wallet. Okay, we Bishop said it last night. Coffee. You know, if Bill Gates is getting a divorce, we all might as well throw in the towel because you know nobody got more money than he got, and he getting a divorce. So you know, but we got women that say, well, I need the size of his wallet, but you got the size of his wallet, but he never home. Well, he could buy you anything in the world, but he's not present. He live with you, but he ain't present. He's not in tune with you. So does size really matter then? Okay, so now you can get a Birkin bag and you can buy all the red bottoms, but the truth of the matter is he treats you like a prostitute because he gives you money to keep from arguing. He gives you money to hush you up. He gives you money to not bother him. And yet you know he's got two other people on the side, but the reason why you ain't got no problem with because size matter. See how the size thing can mess you up. So if we do it across the board, and I know that we were talking on one level, but let's look at size on all cases and in all levels that people are starting to make an issue. There are a lot of women that are single today because they waiting on the size of the purse and they waiting on the size of this, and you are still single, pumpkin. Hey, your time clock is, and I don't mean time as far as having babies, but it's starting to run down, and you still trying to hang out here, wait for something instead of finding somebody that can love all of you, because only women say that. Men don't really use it, although we look at, okay, people say, well, he want a big butt, he want all this. But let me tell you, that don't work for a man either, because she might have a big butt and she might have a smile, but my boys say she poison, okay? That's old school hip hop, okay? That's old school hip hop. And said that she poison. So you got all of these sizes, and I'll yield the floor, is that size matter. It's a big thing now. It wasn't a thing, but I need a big hips, big waist, small waist, and all this kind of stuff. And you got this woman like this, but this woman don't got no love for you. This woman talks to you any kind of way. This woman think that she is all that have walked on a pair of heels and can't nobody tell her nothing. So now you got the size, but look what else do you got? Something else is missing within here. So she got the size, but she missing here. I'd rather have her grinding up in here, and then we'll deal with the whole size later if we need to deal with it at all. So those are my words. I hope that helped. I'll just say Clubhouse, but it worked for me.
Christina, chime in on that, because Michael has brought another twist to it. He is like talking about the size of everything in all capacity and all facets of the relationship. I think that's a good twist to the dialogue while we are talking about from a physical perspective, but he's talking about from everything. Does size matter, or have we had too many relationships, even in the size of how we perceive, you know, the guy being able to produce in our lives, and he got to have this amount and live here and have that, and he got to be popping in this area and all that. So does size really matter, or have we really gotten so far into a superficial space that we just can't enjoy anybody that's just a regular, normal person progressing and becoming, and we can't enjoy a regular person like the garbage man if he's trying to holler, oh man, you picking up garbage, I can't deal with you, but he got us, but everything about him is straight. The brother is on point, but he just so happens to work for a waste management company. Have we just gotten that superficial? Does size, does it really matter?
I think it depends on the individual. I think it depends on an individual's values and what they want. I mean, of course, you will talk to some women, I'm not gonna say a lot, but some women do prefer size when it comes to physical attributes. Some women do prefer the size of a man's wallet. So I think it just really depends on an individual, what their preference is, what they want. Because, you know, like I said a couple of shows before, I think we all have an idea of what type of individual we want. But, you know, then it really depends on who you meet, who you fall in love with. So I think if, you know, people are just going for someone just based on, okay, you want a woman that's built like this, or you want a man that's this size and makes this kind of money. I mean, you know, of course, we see it on social media all the time. A lot of people do want that, but
so has that become our compass now? Is that now our compass to identify what's healthy and what's good? Social media?
I mean, not for me, you know, but I mean, those are the messages that we get because that's what we see all the time. But then really, is social media realistic? You know, like people post a lot of things and
right.
it's not real life.
Right.
You know, so you may be saying all kinds of stuff on social media. Girl, yes, he got to buy me a bag and he got to do all this and that. But the man that you at the house with, he might actually be working on a garbage truck. He may not be able to afford you the bag. You probably brought that bag yourself, but you got people thinking he brought it for you.
He brought it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
I think it's the individual and their mentality, their mindset as well. I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's good stuff. Charles, come on, chime in. You look like your wheels spinning over there. You got your anointed glasses on. Come on, Charles, talk to the people.
All right. So what part do you want me to add in here? What part is this?
What you mean? What part?
Yeah, what do I think about it? I'll be honest. All right.
Be straight about all of it, because I mean, Claiborne put a dope twist in it when he started talking about the size of everything. But start from what we started with, the guy that asked the question: does size really matter, or have we just had too many partners?
Well, that's a double-edged sword, because I think honestly, truth is, yes, there has been probably a lot of partners, a lot of comparisons, and the thing is, just like with anything. Think about your best leather purse or your leather coat. Over time, it might be still in good condition. It don't have no holes in it, but over time, it's going to begin to droop. You put it on, it's going to start to drape a little bit. It's not going to hold that tightness. It's going to be a little. That's why you got all these new specialists going on with all these operations and different things, because that thing been beat up. But anyway, let me just get to the point of it. All right, here's the drill. Here is the drill. All right, I'm going to fall in the middle here, but this is how I view it. If it doesn't reach, it doesn't touch. If it doesn't touch, it doesn't affect. If it doesn't affect, it won't keep her. It has to touch to affect her. And I'm saying that physically, honestly, if women respond to the touch, to the effect. And this is why they'll entertain you and they'll talk to you and they'll be nice and look at your wallet. But the guy who can touch, this is why you see the Negro at home on the couch playing the PlayStation. He can touch while she at work. It's a different, you afford different things to the person who can do the job. To the person who can't, you have to give them different requirements. You pay in the play, basically. I'll tolerate you if you're nice, or if I haven't been married in for this long time, I'll go ahead and give you a pass, and because you're not hitting the mark. But preferably, they'll be talking to their girlfriend saying, I don't know how long I can do this, girl. I don't know. And then the friend gonna say, are you cheating on him? I thought about it. Let's just be real. If we being real, that size really does matter. It really does. If we being honest, it matters.
That's crazy. To Mitchell, tap in with us. Tap in. What is your thoughts about this? The whole big picture of this whole ideology. I know mentor people, you've coached people, you've talked to people, and we all have had girlfriends that have said, "Girl, he just ain't he not meeting the church announcements. I mean, you know, he testifying, but ain't nobody saying hallelujah. He testifying, but ain't nobody saying hallelujah." You know, are we in this place where we are not able to see past all of the physicality or what the tangible stuff is? Are we not even interested in nothing more than that now?
I think that, can you guys hear me okay? Because I have my family talking in the background. Anyway, I think our experiences have shaped everything that we want. Yeah. Our experiences have made us, I know I don't want this no more. I know I ain't doing this no more. And I'm not. And so a lot of times, by the time you're our age, I'm 40, you've had so many experiences with people, physical and non-physical, and you're able to shape your perceptions and what you want based off of that. What Christina said was a very good point too, because you talked about social media. Right. I think social media, we've taken these highlight reels and we're comparing our lives to highlight reels. And so now we're not looking at the behind the scene productions. We're not looking at any of that. We're looking at the highlight reel, and where the comparison is killing our relationships, it's killing our joy, and it's causing us to not appreciate good people because we become so surfaced. Yeah. And so, I do think that we've been with so many people, and it doesn't have to be in a promiscuous way or whatever, but it kind of invalidates the good people, and we run over good people because we've gotten so kind of like almost like self-absorbed. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's all about me, and if he ain't doing this, and now you 70 years old, and you still waiting on somebody. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not just women, it's men too. Men too, yeah. Because there's some older gentlemen that I know that are 50 something years old, and you still out here and you still can't decide on what you want to do. Yeah. It goes both ways. That's because you're so busy looking for the next fix and for the next big thing and the next good thing to come along, and it's never gonna be there. And that's what messes people up, is that you cannot deal with the box of crazy that you have in front of you. It's all about picking out which box of crazy you willing to deal with, because everybody got one. So, you know, and it's like, you know, the other gentleman said about the wallet. Okay, like you said, he got money, but he's never home. So you got to pick your struggle, because you're gonna have to deal with something. So that is what's killing us, is that don't nobody want to work and build and go through anything with anybody, not in a toxic way, but we want everything right now. And that's just unfair to anybody coming into any situation. To me personally, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. And I may have not answered the question about size, but you guys did a great job at that. But I mean, you know, it is important. You know what I mean? And that's important to, like Christina said, if that's your thing and that's important to you, that may be your deal breaker. But then you got somebody who used to be abused, and they don't give a damn how big you are. As long as you treat me right, it'll be good.
I don't care. Care. It's where your value lies.
Exactly.
And where your value lies, and what you see as valuable.
Absolutely.
Determines if that is going to matter. But I like
absolutely
that Claiborne did bring up the part about, oh, you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to live here, you do this, you got to do that, because that's a part of sizing.
Yeah.
It's a part of sizing, because I remember this one girl, she said a long time ago, she said a car is nothing more than a big penis. Remember, it was a movie, but she said, I can't remember what they said. I want to say it was on The Brothers. I want to say it was on a scene on The Brothers where she said a car is nothing more than a big D, basically. So she's basically saying that a man's value was determined by what he was pushing. And it was like, dang. And just hearing you talk about that, it made me think about that moment when she said that. And I said, now how stupid is that when you really think about it? Because if it ain't paid for, it's debt.
But Koffe, on Clubhouse, they call a high value man based on his pocket. That's
not high value to me.
He's not high value. He himself is not high value. But that's what they call a high value man today, is how much money he has. But his money is value. But he himself is low grade because he looks down on women, because I got the money so I can treat women any kind of way. She either take it or win. So I went into a room and I think they almost kicked me out because they was mad with me. I was like, so what makes you high value? Because your dollars? Because I know some of my friends who work in Wall Street, they are the nastiest attitude. They treat women any kind of way. You're not high value because you got the dollar bill. High value means, after we saw that in our last number 45, high value don't mean nothing and you got no way of treating people. So we base it off of that. I want me a high value man. And I didn't even know that was a word until I got on Clubhouse. And I was like, what is a high value man? And it was like a man that's, he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. I was like, really? So, but he treats you any kind of way. He leave you home and he taking his other girlfriend on a trip. But you think that's how? But how would you know that? Because I got friends who do it all the time. All the time. I digress.
Yeah, you a little fired up over there, Clay. Be okay? All right. You gonna be all right?
Everyone's coming in hot.
To Mitchell, is he coming in? I think it's the microphone to Mitchell.
He's coming in hot.
Microphone. I think it's the mic. And Christina over there.
It's the size that matters.
It's the size. It's the size of the mic. It's the size. Okay. So it's the size of the mic. Okay then. All right. Thibodeau, you way too quiet over there in that corner, honey.
Come on, Jason, get it started, Jason.
Go ahead and pop it off, Jason.
Charles over here talking about get it started.
Right. Go ahead.
Pop it off. Let's go.
Look at that. I mean, I am not aggressor here. Come on, guys. No, but seriously.
Oh, really?
No,
really?
No, I'm just not going to talk with the same diction as Mr. Dixon. You know what I'm saying? I just go real raw.
All right.
Anyway, no, seriously though. Hey, okay, so we done talked about, and I did say we done. So we done talked about the money aspect of it and how that can affect things. We talked about the fact that size actually does matter. Right. We talked about previous relationships and how the mental, and also we just talked about just plain and simply the mental. Right. I'm going to just go far left in something that people generally don't bring up, because this is a wide gambit of things that we could talk about. Right. And nobody really ever talks about porn and what effect that actually has on your mental and how that plays into your sexual activities and what you consider big, small, sizing or whatever else. And when I say porn, I don't mean just porn, but I'm talking about the form of masturbation as well, because we all see it. Okay, this is adult conversation. We've all been on a porn site at some point or another, whether you was exposed by your kinfolk when you was young or one of the free sites or whatever else. And we've all seen the oversized dildos and things like that. And that was one of the things when I told my wife that I was going to be on here talking about this subject, we got to talking about a wide gambit of things. And one of the things I brought up, I was like, isn't it interesting that you will actually find and talk to women who will actually go get a dildo that's bigger than their boyfriend or husband and everything else. And at some point talk about later on down the road, talk about how this person may or may not satisfy them. But it's like, well, if you think about what you're playing with as opposed to what he actually has, then that can have an effect on things. Lord, and also on top of that, you can actually play with that so much because you're moving it yourself. You're doing it yourself. It does not have a pulse. You know what you like exactly, and you can actually desensitize yourself. This goes for men too when we masturbate. You can actually desensitize yourself to the point to where you need something that is like humongous or whatever outside of the norm or whatever else just to get any feeling out of it. So I mean, there's a wide gambit of different things that can happen here. Wow. How about that for getting things started?
He drops the mic, y'all. Did he just drop the mic?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a good point.
Christina,
very good perspective. Yeah. Very good perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's scary when you when you really think about that, because I say this all the time, a man cannot compete with anything that exceeds his heart rate.
Wow.
He compete with anything that exceeds his heart rate. So if you go literally think about the pulse, the speed and the pulse of any inanimate object, it's true. Our heart can only go so high up the rates before our body shuts down completely. Our body can only go up, the rate of our heart can only accelerate so high, and then we tap out. We literally humanly tap out. We can't take it anymore. So we can't even have that expectation as women for a human man to try to compete with that. That's humanly, it's impossible. And like Mitchell was talking about earlier, even what Christina was talking about, where's the fairness in that? Where's the fairness in a guy having to compete with something like that? What can he do with that? Nothing.
Wow.
And vibe in with us, girl. Vibe in us.
Oh, Christine, I'm sorry.
I was like, did you say my name?
And then after you finish, Chris, I know you said after you finish. Go ahead.
Well, hell, repeat what the question was. I mean, what was you saying?
You all right over there?
The porn.
It's the cup. I try to tell y'all, it's the cup. Y'all fooling
with
me.
It's the cup.
It's the sippy cup.
It's the sippy cup. No, we were just piggybacking off of what Jason was talking about, what he just brought into the picture.
I mean, I think he's right. You know, if you're trying to compare size or your sex life and all of that, you know, I think that does play a part. But I think couples use porn for different reasons too. You know, they use it to
stimulate,
learn different things to how to satisfy their person. They learn, you know, they do it for entertainment. They do it for stimulation. They use it for different things. So it's not necessarily just in comparison of this is what I want. I want somebody doing me like this. I want this size. I want this, and that. I mean, I think we all have our fantasies, but I think you can also flip it, and some people use it as, you know, stimulation for their relationships, you know, that kind of thing.
To evolve. And that's a good way of looking at it too, that people are using it for evolutionary purposes. But then the other danger of that is one or the other may be doing something external outside of their experience together that the other is not privy to. Because a lot of times, if you're engaging in that stimulation can transcend past just you and old boy, because you know what your person is capable of. They ain't gonna be able to make no magic after seeing that. It ain't gonna change. It's the same thing. He might flip you up 3 times instead of 2, 4 times instead of 3, but he ain't gonna be able to pull off all that stuff because that's not his capability. And dig this, a lot of people don't realize a lot of the stuff that we see on those shows, they're doped up. They're doped up, like really, they high on some stuff to be able to do all the stuff that they're doing. But to Mitchell, tap in, because I think what Jason and Christina brought up, it's some stuff going on.
Yeah, it is. And I think, I mean, this is such an onion. There are so many layers to this. It's so like, this is a whole nother show. Like if we really got into the meat and potatoes of this, we'll be here all night. I mean, we would, because now you're thinking about women who are never satisfied in the bedroom or men who can't get enough because now they have this addiction to get what they see on these, you know, in porn, and they want to get this, and this is what they're looking for. And so now we have these unrealistic expectations of both parties, you know, that are not being upfront about what they really want because they're too busy trying to put on. Sir, we can't do a shower scene. We just can't. We ain't got it.
Sir, I ain't been able to do that since college, sir.
I'm not doing that.
Stride since college. My thigh meat don't work the same.
My knees not
done. My thighs ain't the same. My thighs ain't the same. I'm sorry.
Got this roll thighs. So, you know, but it's just like, but seriously,
we're not standing on our head no more. We done passed the head standing up. We just not doing that. Okay.
I mean, we just saying we ain't gonna be able to do the same. I mean, you know,
right? It's certain things you just ate. But I mean, but just with that said, that just goes to show you that you have to be on such a deeper level with the person that you're with.
Yeah,
that right there is not going to be a deal breaker or make or break you because your values are not rooted in sex. You see what I'm saying? It's great. You want to have it, or but after if that's not the biggest deal to you, it's not going to affect you like that. Yeah. It's just not.
Another angle.
Go ahead, Charles. Go ahead.
Another angle
I'm over here fired up. Mitchell got me all fired up, Charles. I'm sorry, I got excited.
No, I'm just saying another angle. We have to look at it like this: when it comes to the man and the male and the female, even anatomy wise, like the woman has a trainable muscle, men don't. So the woman can live out her life, and as she's having her interactions, whether she's married, whether she's just single in the city, doing her. Either way, each guy she's encountering, especially if there's a gambit of sizes, if there's a difference in sizes, guess what? Her muscle is now being trained to accommodate that size. With a man, whatever he has is what he has. There's no entry into you is going to change that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something going forward where people have to look at it. And it's like this. If you find yourself that you've quote unquote graduated to such a place of expectancy with men, you need to stick in that circle with those kind of men. Because if that's your selling point, I'm not saying that's all it matters, but if that's where your heart of the matter lies, and it really does for a lot of women. But if you're in that position, then you need to stick in that circle. Don't try to go from that circle all the way back down to ground zero. Then you're gonna be frustrated. Because
but dig this. This goes back to what Christina said. You ain't gonna be able to help who you fall in love with, right? Right. So that same chick who may have been, very interested in a certain girth and depth from a guy, that might not be her love person. That might not be the person she find herself in love with. Then she turns around and has a dilemma because the guy that she really loves doesn't have that girth and that depth, Charles.
Well, here's the ugly truth. There is a such thing as I love you, but I'm laying with him. That's the truth. Right? I love him, but I'm laying with him because he handles what I need. I get it.
I think I need to go get me a cup now.
Yeah, that's it. That's the truth, take this one. That's the truth. If we're being honest, that is the truth. People, I have seen it. People will be set up in a good situation and will come down off the hill and go into the city, handle their business, and go back on the hill.
Did he say come on?
Hey, man. I'm telling you, honestly, back in the day, I had homegirls that used to do that.
But that happened for men and women. That happened for men.
That's for sure.
Men can have a great woman at home, but she can't perform. Now, this is something that y'all never heard, but let's be honest. All y'all don't perform all that well. Sure. All y'all talk about size on men. All of y'all have stopped their head.
Hold on. Wait a minute, hold on. Stop the car.
Come on, Playboy.
Jason jumped on me. I'm sitting next to Jason. He jumped on me. It just jumped on
me. So when you say all, are you talking about the female species?
The female species. All y'all don't perform that well. All y'all don't perform that well.
You said all of us?
I said all of y'all, meaning that there's some of y'all.
Not all of y'all, yeah.
Not all of y'all.
I'm gonna need you to say it in a more strategic.
All of y'all mean all of y'all mean from the hood, because we all don't talk like Charles. Okay, all of y'all mean some of y'all does not perform, and the men will agree with me. The greatest false statement is this: I know I'm good at what I do.
Believe that.
Women say that garbage. And even though men will never use this term, because women will say, "Oh, he was garbage." But if us three here would be honest, we've had some garbage women. We've had some women that we was like, "Oh, good God." We had. Now you'll never hear men say that, but us three is really honest. We've had some garbage.
Mitchell, did he say the good guy is Molly? Did he say gray hair?
I'm talking about garbage since college, and they still talking around talking about they got that good. No,
that's why you don't be talking about stuff like that. Don't even talk about it.
Hey, Christina, I got too much gray hair tonight. I've been around a long time, and I promise you, pumpkin, I've been looking at them like.
Right.
Are you serious?
Unmute yourself, Christina. Unmute yourself, Christina. You muted.
All right, I thought I was unmuted. But you know what? it goes back to, I want to say social media, but the music nowadays too, because
very much so.
Women always talk about how good their female part is, and it's this and it's that. And so
WAP.
you have women who, you have a generation that's coming up different from us, because we're in our 40s plus, who think that that's them, and they have not learned how to be a good sexual partner. They do not care about satisfying their partner because they think that their stuff is so good. So they have no value in that. They're just like, oh, I'm, because I know a lot of women that say their stuff is good. I mean, hell, I've said it, but I'm from the old school. You know what I'm saying? So I think this generation,
Y'all over there talking about.
It's getting terrible.
I think,
go ahead.
but I do think.
He said all the way up. He was like, what?
I don't know.
Listen.
No, Charles is right.
He's like, what? He leaned in like, what?
I mean, some of them ain't good. They just available.
I'm just saying, but you got to think about a lot of the messages that are put out there nowadays. That's all they talk about. So, this generation that's coming up, it's like, oh, okay, well, my stuff is good. Well, why is it good? Because the man didn't tell you it was trash. The last time, right? Fine. He said you was fine, and so he did it with you, but he didn't tell you it was trash, because you could have somebody else that may not look as good as you and satisfy that man way more better.
Right.
Hey, can you say that again for the people in the back?
Yeah. So I just think that it's a lot of the messages that are put out there. Like you hear these songs and you see all this stuff on social media, but it's way more than that. It's
a big misconception, I believe, a lot of women have versus what a man is actually thinking. And it's this. From a man's perspective, it's really, if we're talking in this sexual realm, it's really two types of women. There is the prop, who's the looker, and there is the doer, who gets it in. The doer is the person who's going to be active with him. She's aggressive in the mode. It's a chemistry. The prop is the person who, she may have the body, but she's pretty much his prop to do however, wherever, this, that, and the other. And that doesn't make it good. It's a visual experience, but it doesn't make it good. You know what I'm saying? It's good visually, but it's not good for you.
Did he say the prop and the doer?
I'm telling you, it can be like a prop. Think about if you look at the porn. If you were talking about porn, Jason, think about the porn. How if you look at it, you see there are the women who are just still, and they just might have a body, and they're just basically in the right position. And then
talking about the dead fish,
where you look and they crawling all around, they are all over the place, active with the man. It's a difference in the exchange.
Message.
You go that way, yeah, for sure.
But you know what Christina said about the music is spot on. It is for sure on, because everything that we hear now, it's funny because me and one of my friends was talking earlier. It was, I can't remember what the doggone song was, but anyway, it was one of those old school, like, let's get it on, whatever kind of songs. But they always had subliminal messages.
Talking about like, where you want me to put it? Tell me where.
Yeah. Wow. But in that song, he never said where.
No, he doesn't.
But now when we hear the music that we hear now, it is very graphic, extremely visual. And then the footage that they have with these
it's dirty.
Are beyond belief. Like you be sitting there like, what in the ham and cheese is going on in this video? And like Mitchell said, we can't nobody do them kind of performances. That's not even natural.
You ain't even got her knees. Come on, you ain't got her knees. Everybody talking about you. Come on, and I don't even need. Guess what? I don't need you to have her knees. Because guess what? Her knees don't mean she can do that consistently. She doing that because it's a dance and it's a video. And I worked around videos with Koffe, and they'll pause you for a minute and bring you back in, and they'll pause the video and they splice and cite. So we don't know how long she was on bouncing on those knees anyway. And I'm sure you can do the knees, but can you do any anything. So you can bounce on the knees. That don't mean absolutely anything. And this is where we missing it. Let me tell you something. If a man really makes love to your soul and your mind, and while at the same time making love to your body, your whole mindset is on a whole. Okay, that's old school. I'm too old. I mean, I hear him say I hear him say a whole lot of stuff. I hear him say a whole lot of stuff, but I tell him you don't want to mess with no old man, because he go tap into your soul, tap into some places that you don't know. Absolutely, you ain't even thinking about that. Because first of all, I'm talking to you all day. I'm sending you stuff. I'm saying things to you. I'm hitting you in areas we ain't even touched yet. And by the time you get to me, it's on a whole nother page, because I'm more concerned about you going 2, 3, maybe 4 times, then we ready. Okay, so you ain't got no problem about nothing else. Y'all missing the whole thing. This man make love to my whole body. He make love to my. If your mind gets start exploding, then it's on a whole nother page. That's when you know you reach somebody that. It's all this other stuff. I want a woman that could understand how to tap into all parts of me. She reaching areas about me that I ain't even touched her. She can do it from long distance and be like, look, let me just let you know, boy, you really doing something with me with that cologne. I'm trying to maintain myself. Just be like, girl, what is that? Because she done reached it. She ain't got to do nothing. She can just call you in the middle of the day, Jason. You working hard, and she called you in the middle of the day and said, do you know it's running down my leg because I thought about you? Your whole day is gone. You don't even care. Your whole day is gone. Your whole day is gone. You know why? Because she tapping into stuff that she ain't even touch you. If we all get back to that whole level, I promise you ain't about. Don't lean in, Christina. Don't lean in.
I agree. I agree.
We missing each other.
Christina, I'm going to get me a cup for real.
Picture so they know they can't.
It's the real fact, man. We not tapping into all this stuff. We not tapping to be able to say, you move me. I like the way your hair is, girl. Because most of us miss all that compliment. Like, when you left this morning, I forgot to tell you, but you really left the house smelling wonderful. You know what I mean? You kept that aroma. Thank you for the peace. I know I was stressing out and everything like that, but you said, come here, let me lay on my lap. And it's over with. I told Koffe, me and her gonna work on this book, but this book I'm working on called Bacon and Heels. If you put heels on while you're making bacon.
Sex isn't always, it's not always physical. It's not always physical, because you can be with somebody, y'all could be in the same space, y'all could be married in a relationship, and you don't even notice, like you said, you don't even notice your person. You don't compliment them, and all of that is part of sex building up, and then you go outside and Jody right there trying to take your trash out, and Jody complimenting you, how you look, how you smell. And if you turn Jody down the first time, he gonna wait and see you again, because
it's Jody for me. It's Jody for me to mention.
Yeah. So I'm saying, sex is more than physical. It's the buildup. And I think
Jody for me.
Relationships, they miss it. They miss that. It's the buildup. It doesn't always have to be physical. It's the intimacy that you're creating that really erupts that sexual moment, because it's the total buildup. And
Christine,
I think
if you in the makeup industry, if I buy your makeup for you, if I say to you, girl, listen, I know you had an amazing day. I'm going, what I'm saying is that say you have the business and you own different palettes. See, I'm in the business, so I understand that. So we were in vibe. You own different palettes. And I'm saying, guess what? I'm going to do all your mail for you today because I know you've been rocking. Right then and there, I done tapped into that area because you know what? You moving and you rocking. And I done tapped in. I know what you like. And you know what? She busy. I got you, baby. I'm going by the mail. I'm going to put it out because, hey, you making this money and I want you to not have to worry about that. Right then and there, you think I'm worried about what you're going to happen that night? That night, you're going to remember that, yo, babe, you went to the mail. I appreciate you that you took.
Let me go ahead and give you a delivery, but
let me give you a delivery. That's what you're going to remember. You're going to remember those kind of things. If people missing this whole thing, but if I tapped into something that you like, it's not the physical. She care about her business, and that's your business, or whatever the case, or I purchased it for you. Look, what do we got to do to invest in some stuff? You got a big show coming up. Let's buy some more things. I got you, girl. I can't make it to the show, but trust me. Now you think, watch this. This is how I miss. You think that I can't make it to the show, but I mess around and know you got to eat. And the man come there and say, hey, this is special delivery. And on the card it say, while I'm not there, I want to make sure that you're well because I need you to be on time when you get back here tonight. And I'll be like, oh, he don't hook me up with this. Because now I thought about you. He didn't come, but he's still there because he sent me a gift. He sent me a package. We got to get back to that. I'm into the old love thing. Y'all missing it. Keep going with the size. How's that working out for you? You're still single, working out with the style.
And all, you know, all the great stuff that Claiborne just said, right? And that's, in an ideal world, that's great.
Right.
But if the man does all of that and he anticipates your every move and desire, and when he gets home, he still falls short, then what? He did all that. He got you ready. You in the headspace. You're like, oh my God, that was so sweet of you. And then when it's time, it's like, because you know what you're getting. You got to be realistic here.
See, this is where, yeah. And I'm sure the ladies can agree with me on this. This is where the maturity has to come in.
Right.
Because it has to be the value in the fact that he is loyal, he's committed, he's consistent, he's so vested in your success.
Right.
Honestly, if you forfeit that, you may never get it again.
Yeah, you're right.
It has to be the maturation, and y'all can, to Mitchell, y'all tap in with me if y'all agree, and y'all have, you know, add on to that. But at that point, that's where the maturity has to kick in that woman to say, this guy, he's okay. He's okay enough for me to say, I'm willing to deal with this part, because the bigger picture is that this man literally loves me. He loves me with the ability, the kind of capacity that he loves me with.
Right.
If I forfeit that, I may never get it again. So Mitchell, what's your thoughts about that?
Right. I mean, you are so right. And I think that if you're leading every interaction that you have with sex, that's what you're going to end up with.
Right.
Like if that's all you're really leading with, then you're not even giving yourself an opportunity to get into depth with anybody. Because it's like Claiborne said, it's like, okay, but if I lead with, I'm an acts of service person. If you are taking something off of my hands, if you are, like you said, Koffe, if you are loving me on that level, and then we get to this point, okay, it's the 80-20. Okay, I got 90-10. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
I can deal with that. But what I can't deal with is figuring out where you at night.
Right.
I can't deal with where I got to look through your phone. Or where I got to figure out
come on.
Or if I got to figure out where you putting our money at and you not being upfront. That's the kind of stuff that I'm concerned with. That right there, we can get past that. We can find something to make that work.
Right.
That's just me personally.
Right.
I don't have, but so I'm not throwing away that type of support. I am not throwing away that type of, you got my back, because see, people not trying to build partnerships and a life with this person. You just want to just kind of bounce around. No, but if you're trying to build a life with this person, that you'll realize that kind of stuff matters way more than this whole size crap. I'm sorry, that's just me personally.
Right.
You know,
Christina, what's your thoughts about it?
I agree. And I think, like you said, it's the maturation level. And if you throw all these good, solid things away, you may not ever get that again. So you will take somebody who may not be a size that maybe you prefer or you want, because they're bringing so many other things to the table. And like to Mitchell said, they got stuff you can do to work with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you can work with that. I mean, yeah,
you can definitely overcome that.
Yeah.
It's so many things out there. There are so many things. There are so many tools.
Other parts of him.
And if he loves you and cares about you, he's gonna do whatever it takes.
But I will say this.
Involving no third parties, but he's gonna do whatever it takes.
We don't do no. We ain't got no sharing spirit. No sharing spirit. But you know what? The other thing that we that kind of goes back to what Charles said. This is where communication has to come in, because God needs to know that this is your experience with him. You can't not act like it's not happening. Because in all fairness, that is what leads to you stepping out.
Yes.
God has no clue. So it has to be a conversation, a respectful conversation, because you don't want to destroy his ego. and make him feel like he's not worth anything. But you got to be really honest, because here's the deal. You know, and Christina has been on the show with us before, and she said this before. Let's keep it 100. We've been in relationships before we got to you anyway. This is first rodeo. We over 40 some odd years old. Everybody on this panel has been with somebody at some point. So fortunately, because of that, and fortunately because of that, we can give you a gauge. Not to say I'm comparing you to Bill, but what I'm saying to you is there's something that I need to get to where I need to be, same way I'm getting you to where you need to be while we're having this exchange. And if we're gonna be doing this exchange forever, we're gonna have to figure out how to make this exchange work to where both of us benefit, because it's not fair for you to walk away from the table snoring and I'm on the other side of the bed with my eyes wide open, like, well, damn, I need to go in the bathroom and go ahead and What kind of ministry is it, Jason? When you...
That's because he's not in tune with you, Koffe.
No. That's not necessarily true.
Wait, but let me finish now. Because if he was in tune to you, you know how much process it is before we actually, okay, y'all ain't doing foreplay no more? Maybe I'm old school.
No. All of that can be on point. But sometimes the actual experience is subpar to where she's not getting what she needs during that experience. The foreplay could be fabulous about the penetrable experience.
So maybe he's the right size, but Joe Walls is this far apart.
No. Not even from that perspective.
Sorry, Christina.
Seriously, he may be the right size, but he may not be the right stroke. His key may be off. Okay, so it's not that he might be a perfect size, but his keystroke. It's like, okay, me and Charles are musical people. I have some background with people. Mitchell knows this too, because we used to be in a big old church together, right? So if somebody is on the keys, right, singing, right, on the keys, and they thinking they really got it going on, but they're not. They're not hearing me with what's coming out of my mouth. I'm coming out in second soprano, and the key that they're in is a strong alto. Nobody else in the audience really knows it because they think it sound good. So that's the thing about relationships is about it, and it's not that the guy is not doing his best, he's not in tune or whatever. Women, sometimes we have to say something, because a woman can make you think without her ever saying that you done did what you needed to do. Right. So you have to learn how to be really honest with the person and tell them the truth about the experience we're having with them. And it's not to say the foreplay ain't right, the dude ain't right, his size ain't right. It could just really be that little bit of an octave is off. And Charles knows from music. You can literally be in a group, everybody singing, nobody in the audience except for the musical people. You'd be like, somebody off. Somebody off. Nobody else would know that. So you could be in there with your person and they be off, and they just really do not know it because there's no conversation. Everything doesn't go by the physical. I mean, he could be, like you were talking about earlier, doing all these things, handling all his affairs, making sure you got this and but it could just be a fact of that little tiny bit of that sound is going to make all the difference in the world. And it's not that the guy is doing anything wrong. It just could be that little one thing that we need to figure out how to just get that little bit of WD-40 and put that little oil on that part, and we fine.
Well, okay, so then let's spice it up a little bit, because I said this to you or the other day when we talked about it. Let's spice it up a little bit.
Hey, if you want to spice it up and they talking about music, let me tell you this. Instead of worrying about being on the right key, just go get you a percussionist, because we good with our hands and we got good rhythm.
I'm a drummer too. I'm a drummer.
You see the shirt.
What? Little drummer boy.
I'm a drummer.
You see the shirt.
Hey, I'm a drummer. I'm with you, Jay. I'm a drummer. I got hand and eye coordination, okay? And we can work with all this stuff. But let's spice it up a little bit. Here's the thing, Charles.
Yeah.
Now, the big thing, you don't hang out too much on Clubhouse, but I'm going to tell you what they be talking about over there, Charles. I'm going to give you the secrets. The big thing that goes on over on Clubhouse, Charles, is everybody on Clubhouse, for the most part, is abstinent or celibate. Okay, Charles, you with me? Walk with me, Charles. Walk with me.
That's
Walk
what
with
they
me.
saying.
That's what they saying.
Walk,
But go ahead,
with me, Charles.
Claiborne.
Walk with me, Charles. If everybody, because I don't know either one, Koffe keep trying to school me. I'll be messing it up. I get it wrong every time. But abstinence or celibate, some is selling a bit, but that's a whole nother conversation. Okay.
Did he say selling a bit?
You heard what he said. Speak your truth.
Here's the thing, Jay. If you abstinent, now according to them, what they say, and Koffe can school me because I don't know if I got it right. According to what they say, it's supposed to be no pornography.
Right.
Nothing stimulating. Nothing to stimulate. Nothing stimulating.
Okay, nothing stimulating, right?
Right.
And we're not doing nothing to marriage. Now walk with me, Charles. Yeah, to marriage.
Right.
Which means we don't went through the love stage, the engagement stage. We at the I do.
Yeah.
What happened now? Because I'm gonna ask your question in another spin. You got me. We on the honeymoon.
Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing till honeymoon night.
Wow.
What we gonna do about this? You don't know what I can do. I don't know what you can do, because remember, we ain't done nothing all the way to marriage.
Yeah.
You don't know what I can do. I don't know what you can do. I might be trash, but you might be trash. But it's the trash staying together or what we doing here? Because we abstinent now. Now I want to know what we doing here. If you ain't seen it, because you ain't supposed to. Nothing going on. No stimulation.
Well,
no nothing.
I look at it.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Go ahead. What
you gonna do, Jason? What you gonna do, Jason?
Go ahead, Jason.
Tell them they a damn lie.
Oh wow. I mean,
you know what Jason is? He need that shirt. He need that shirt. That shirt is perfect.
An unprepared man and an unprepared woman look two different ways. If a man doesn't know what he's doing on that wedding night, and if the woman has some experience, she's gonna be, that's my husband, but she's gonna be a little upset, right? Absolutely. Men, if we come to the table and she's a little gun shy, I don't do this, I don't want to do all that.
He'll work with her.
To a man, he may not like it, but in his mind, he was saying, okay, but I can work with this. I can maneuver things to get what I need out of it. A woman is different. If he doesn't bring that game, he don't bring that game. But men, I like to think that men can kind of be flexible with your person, even if she is a type missionary, whatever. You can work around there and be like, well, how about this today? We're gonna try the letter Z. But anyway, all those things like that, you can be a little creative.
Mitchell, did he say try the letter Z?
Try some other things,
Did he go from A to all the way to Z? Okay.
If the guy comes short, he's short. I don't know.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this because me and Claiborne was talking about this. Here's where I'm at with this. I'm gonna just keep it 175. Y'all, talk about me if you want to. Say I don't love the Lord. I don't care. But I promise you, we're gonna have a couple of mission accomplished moments before we get married. Because I'm not marrying somebody. I'm gonna be here to death do me part, and I'm about to die every time we doing it. That's gonna be I'm just saying. So I mean, and here's the deal: you don't actually have. Okay, there's this book. It's called Sex for Christians. Okay. Mm-hmm. This book is these people was old school pimps way back in the day, right? Sex for Christians. All right. In that book, they talk in depth about foreplay and pleasure systems without penetration. Okay. So they promote you learning your person within restrictions and y'all have an agreement or whatever, but they don't promote you not knowing anything about your person's sexual competency before marriage. They don't promote that. They promote that you know enough to make a well-informed decision without crossing into the penetrable process. Now, here's the deal. Here's where two mature adults have to make a decision as to whether or not that's going to work for them. Because everybody can't handle that. Everybody can't handle, let's, tip and sip and taste and dip. And let's just have a little wine tasting and not want the whole entire bottle. Okay.
We is tasting.
Okay. Person can't deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? So every person cannot handle, let's take it, but so far, and then just get out the car. Everybody can't roll like that. Some people have to say, this for me, this is not something I can handle. And it doesn't mean that they're not mature. It's just that we got to know what our point is. We got to know our point is to say, okay, if I cross this threshold, we finna go all the way. So as soon as we get right here to Y, then Z is gonna happen. Like Charles said, we got to go down after Y, because once Y go in, then Z comes. So we just have to know our ability to have restrictions. But I think it's really important that if you're dating somebody and you're going to marry them and you're deciding that you're not going to experience the penetration to after you get married, that you know something about them sexually. You got to have that information, because it's like every other facet of the relationship. You got to make a well-informed decision.
What can you find out about them without?
That's what I'm saying. So give us some information, because
you know
what they say on the house.
I'll put something in your inbox, Charles. I'm gonna
give me in the inbox. I need to know. Can you tell me something?
Because I'm thinking about it. Short of a woman sizing a guy up mentally to try to get an idea of what his size is or what he may like to do, that's really just conversation until you are in the moment. It's like preparing to be a Navy SEAL and then reacting when an emergency kicks off. Sure. You may have studied, but until it's real time, it don't matter until what you're going to do when it's real time.
Because Koffe said earlier, he may have the size, but if he ain't got the flow, you ain't going to matter. You still, me talking to you and telling you, because remember I said earlier, the woman who says, I know what I can do. Right. And then when the moment happened, she cannot do what she said she can do. So conversation.
But here's where the guy, in all fairness, here's where the guy has to come through and say what he got to say. Cause that's you didn't lead this man to water that he can't drink from.
We just move on to the next one, baby. That's all we do.
Or you made him think he was coming to some water, and it's the Sahara Desert.
And it's it was a what's the thing when you
Christina,
a mirage.
A mirage. It's a mirage. It's not the real thing. So you didn't let the man to the honestly. But that's where communication comes in. That's where the guy needs to say what he got to say. Man, you done came up here and told me you was going, you was about to wet my whole whistle, and I'm still desert dry over here.
And now we got papers. We done
I ain't got no moisture. You done told me about all this, what you was gonna do to Mitchell. We done led the
little, baby, you just need some water.
To the whole baptismal pool, and it ain't an ounce of water in the pool.
You just dehydrated.
What was that old cartoon? You jump and you look down, and ain't no water in the pool. You like.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Looney Tunes. It was Looney Tunes.
Yeah, but what's so funny? It was so funny to me is like, okay, so you always hear about the dude that's always bragging about how he gonna put it down and everything else and come up short. It is funny to me now, because when you listen to a lot of the female hip hop and stuff now, they talking about all this WAP. Yet we still got a bunch of kids walking around with damn eczema. So obviously it ain't what the hell you saying that it is. Number one. So it's a lot drier than you giving yourself credit for. Let's just start there. So there's deficiencies. No, hold on. I'm not just taking a shot at women. There's obviously, if you're talking a whole, I almost cursed. If you're talking a whole bunch of crap, there's deficiencies on both sides. So you got these men that are talking a bunch of crap coming up short. Then you got these ladies that's talking about what they're gonna do to you, and they coming up short. How about we just start having some conversations? And we just start saying, hey, what do you like? Well, I like it fast. I like it slow. I like it deep. I like it shallow. I like this position. I like that position. You know what
Josh
I'm saying?
Said he want to be slapped, Koffe.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Why you got to put Koffe behind that?
No, I said that's what Josh said. Josh said they want to be slapped.
Oh gosh.
Listen, y'all. Because we had a delay in getting on. We were about 15 minutes behind, so we got to let our panelists go, because some of them are on the East Coast and they have to deal with their creative genius tomorrow called work, WORK. So we want to be cognizant and respectful of the hour. I know me and Claiborne and Charles, we probably tomorrow talking smack about this, right? But we got to be respectful of the time, and definitely we'll have to come back and revisit. And like to Mitchell said, this had a lot of layers to it. So it's so much that can be unpacked from this discussion in so many capacities. So, I think the consensus is size, to some extent, does matter. Nonetheless, it should not be the end all decisive factor of the whole big picture of the relationship, as far as us having to being able to actually connect with somebody and have a healthy, solid experience with them. That shouldn't be the end all be all and say, okay, boo, because you ain't got this, we out. No, it should not be that way. And that's where Jason was saying, let's have some conversations. Let's communicate and talk about these things and see what we can come up with. And what Tim Mitchell said earlier, and be creative in coming up with a way to make sure that you and your person are able to stay together and your relationship doesn't suffer as a result of somebody just not opening their mouth and saying something about the need that they're not getting met in the relationship. All right, so we're gonna have everybody to just tell you what they do real quick, 30 seconds, and we're gonna be out for tonight. We're gonna start off with Troublemaker Charles Dixon first.
All right, I'm Mr. Dixon. You can catch my show Love Talk on Sundays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also do another show on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Eastern. Both of them, one is unscripted, where it's kind of take questions and we answer, and the other one is just a straight show. And I also just, I'm pretty active online. You guys on my page, you'll catch different things I do.
Awesome. All right, that's your radio shows, Charles?
Sure.
All right. Well, what radio station is? You gonna tell them about the radio show? You ain't tell them what station?
I'll post them into.
Okay, yeah, post it on. Y'all follow Charles Dixon because he
tell
y'all everything that he does.
Yeah,
that's what he trying to do. All right. So next up, we got the gorgeous Tim Mitchell Pratchett in the building. Thank you so much for being here with us. Love.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm out of Jacksonville, Florida. I am a local real estate agent, and I also am just starting to kick off my nonprofit organization called Dream Release Inc., which talks about the racial disparities in our communities when it comes to access to credit, wealth, and some other things. So that's kind of like currently what I'm working on right now.
Awesome. That's what's up. All right. So the next troublemaker we have in the building is Michael.
Thank you. I enjoyed it tonight, Koffe. And
obviously.
Thank you, fellas and ladies, for inviting me back to hang out with you guys here at the Hot Seat. I am Mike Claiborne on all social media networks. You can catch me on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock, Conversation with the Prophets on Facebook Live and YouTube. You can catch me on Monday night, every Monday night on When the Right One Comes, the Men Edition, and that's at 10 o'clock. That gets hot. Koffe and I are together Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 3 o'clock in the clubhouse. It gets lit when the right one comes. You do not want to miss it. Every Thursday night at 5:30. 5:30, we do a King Me. I said men crowns are not crooked, but they do got some cracks in it. And that is a men forum. The women come in. We really speak to elevating, building up men. Last week was so phenomenal, Koffe. We got almost up to 300 people. I've never seen that in the 5 weeks that we've been there, because we dealt with men have needs too. So part 2 is coming on this Thursday at 5:30. Men have needs, with an emphasis on, do you see me? You're looking at me, but do you really see me? So we do that. I have an amazing book out and called Her Lap, His Safe Place. Every man is looking for a safe place. It's a book and a workbook on Amazon, and hopefully we can partner with DFG or DEG, them people.
DFG, right there
FG,
on
I was right, DFG. Hopefully on my next book that's coming out, hopefully this summer, we're in communication. And Jay, I might be joining you over there on that. It's part of the family, so it's been an offer, and I've been looking into it, so we might be joining the family all the way. So we just got some things out here. I love life, and I'm just grateful for all the opportunities and meetings, and working on a podcast for this summer. So we got some good things in the work that we're working on. Thank you once again.
Claiborne, I said 30 seconds. That was 72 seconds.
I'm a preacher. What?
Oh, my bad. I forgot about that part. Christina, go ahead, babe.
Yeah, so I am Christina Victoria. So my claim to fame, of course, is that I was a freelance makeup artist. I have my own cosmetics line, but a lot of things sometimes people don't know about me is that I've been in leadership for over 10 years. So I have my leadership certificate from the School of Doctoral Studies. I also have a master's degree.
Yeah.
So I have some projects that are coming up, so I can go ahead and transition from corporate, AKA the plantation. But yeah, so but yeah, my claim to fame is the cosmetics line.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me on the show again.
Oh, always, boo. Always. We gotta have Christina Victoria in the building. Between her and Mitchell, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Tiffany, we got, Janique. Yeah, we're gonna be all right with the ladies in the building for sure. Loretta, Diane, yeah, all the ladies be bringing the noise, okay? Loretta's birthday is today, so that's why she wasn't on with us. Loretta's birthday is actually today, y'all. So shout out to our fellow coach, Loretta Diane, and celebrating her birthday. Oh, come on, Jason, tell us who you are, what you do. Jason, I see something behind you saying available now. What you doing over there, Jason?
Well, see, what had happened was, no, seriously, Jason Thibodeau, not always a class clown, but I just like to get things popping. So yeah, I get on this this platform from time to time and cut up a little bit. Cause trust me, if I got real serious, I'd probably scare the hell out of most of y'all, how deep I'm willing to go. But actor, producer, director, writer. I am a #1 best-selling author now, as you can see behind me. Yay. Basically, with Destined for Greatness, we got a plethora of books out as of right now. But since she said to talk about myself, I will. So I'm actually an author of 2 books. Basically, The Race to the Ring, The 7 Keys to a Successful Courtship. And the newest book that we just released is Why He Married Her and Played Me, the sequel. So there's 2 versions of it out. I actually had an opportunity to write on the sequel. We just hit #1 bestseller on Amazon, and it is available now. So, hey, check it out. Just had a couple of movie releases. Past weekend, OnlyFans is on Vimeo.com as of right now. It'll probably be on Tubi next month. June 26th, we have Weekend Getaway that I'm also in. And like I said, man, just working, just enjoying myself. Appreciate you having me on.
Well, thank y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Well, you guys know I'm your hostess with the mostest, P. Koffe Brown, here in the great state of Texas by way of Houston. I will not go into the disclaimer of what it is that I do, why I do it, when I do it, and what I do it for. You can actually just go to my page on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Clubhouse. It is all under P. Koffe Brown. If you want to know more about me, just go ahead and connect to me on this social media, and you can find out everything that you need to know about P. Koffe Brown. We don't want to delay or belabor the time any longer. Next time, grace, peace, and blessings. And remember, the hot seat is designed with relationship health in mind. We want to go from good to great and build a bridge that will lead to love and legacy. And we will see you guys same bad time, same bad channel next week with more incredible information, dialogues, and discussions on the hot seat. Until then, grace, peace, and blessings. Y'all, thanks so much for being here tonight. Good night, everybody.
Night, y'all.
Yes, so good night, y'all. Thank you.